everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Lupus Talks. My name is Ed Peterson, of course. I'm going to hey, there she is. Just getting everything started for you all that talking about subject matters that matter to you here at Lupus Talks. I have Ms. Calvini Williams and Ms. Dolores Olson, I'll call them a tag team duo. And they'll be sharing tools and information that's going to be beneficial for those who are suffering from autoimmune disease, and then also for people who know people who are, and just kind of help build up the communities that we serve across this country, not just in North Las Vegas, Nevada, but also around the world as well as around the country. So with that, I want Dr. Williams to continue and take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Dolores.
Hello.
I'm glad you're aboard. You know, you're on board. I wanted to talk today about, this is Lupus of Nevada, and I want to talk today about lupus and grief. And I like to put a disclaimer to this because we are not clinical social workers. We're not licensed clinical social workers. We just give information off the web. So I want everybody to be aware of that. And also I want you to be aware to subscribe, to hit like so we can get all those numbers up so we can continue to grow and grow and grow in numbers. So I'm going to get right into it. This says in an overview, grief is the context of lupus refers, the emotional distress and sense of loss experienced by individuals diagnosed with the disease, often stemming from the changes and limitations it brings to their lives. It also goes on to say, and I like this one, this came from lupus and mental health. And that's what we are. When it comes to that, this is what's happening to us, lupus and mental health. And so hearing the words, you have lupus, can make you feel scared, sad, angry, worried, overwhelmed, and many other emotions. It can take up to 6 years to receive a lupus diagnosis, and after countless tests, mysterious symptoms, and even misdiagnosis, you might be surprised to feel relieved to finally have your answer. Now, that is a mental setback for us because we sit up there and we said, wow, we grieve on that aspect because it's important for us to know that it's good to grieve. It's good to grieve. And I want everyone to know that. And we're going to go into lupus and grief. It's a keen mental suffering or distress over affliction or loss. And that is affliction. Now, I'm going to talk about now the three C's of grief are choose, connect, and communicate. These elements can help individuals navigate the challenges and emotions associated with grief. By actively choosing how to engage with grief, connecting others, and communicating needs and feelings, individuals can foster healing and find ways to move on. Now, under choose, this involves making intentional decisions about how to spend time and energy, what events to attend to and not, and how to honor the person who has passed away. It's about recognizing that you have agency, that you have your own life, but you also shared life with those that have passed on. Connect. Grief can be isolating, and by connecting with others, whether through support groups, friends, family, and it's crucial for healing. Staying connected all allows sharing experiences. Now, I don't want you to think, oh, I have to go in an isolated place and I can't come out because I'm crying and I can't stop crying. You got to communicate. Open communication needs, the feelings of loved ones. That's vital for fostering understanding and receiving appropriate support. You have to have loved ones around you. It's about being honest about what you're going through and what you need from others, whether it's a listening ear, practical help, or space to grieve privately. These three C's are not a linear path, but rather a framework to help individuals navigate the complexities of grief and find ways to heal. Dolores, you want to jump on in this?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great, great, great. Because I got my mic on. Okay, yeah, grief. Grief is really a tough situation for a lot of people, and I can understand how we feel because we want the person to be on earth for us forever, but we're not always here forever. You know, we're only here for a season, and there's a reason to things, and because God has to take us back home. And
Mm-hmm.
that and what he calls to for us to do on earth is he wants us to continue to do what he wants us to do, and including if you maybe a work or if you're just retired, you know, you're
Mm-hmm.
still doing something. He wants us to still enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying that I know it's sadness in that, but all we can do is just really wipe away our tears and just thank God that God is caring for our people that's lost their lives. You know, he's got them in their hands now, and they don't have to suffer anymore for any whatever condition they went through.
Dolores, what about those that don't have that simple task that we just said? They that path, they can't take that path. They're going to need to communicate with the family of the ones that lost, and they continue to do this for 6 months. What would be your advice to those out there when the parents and the family members don't want to talk about it, but this person keeps calling and sharing their relationship, this and that, and keep opening that wound? What would be your response to that?
The best thing to do in the situation like that is just to really just don't just cut it right there. Don't say anymore because it's not ready to be open yet. Until it's
Mm-hmm.
ready to be open, when they're ready to be open, then go ahead and say what you need to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know, when it says, let's talk about, and this is from Lupus Foundation of America, my resource. Let's talk about it. Grieving your diagnosis. And that is, I said earlier, that's a form of grieving because now you feel, oh, you're going to die. Oh, I'm going to die. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to tell my kids. I don't know how to tell my husband, my better half. I just don't know anything. Being diagnosed with lupus can sometimes feel like a loss of life. We have, we have or had envisioned for ourselves and loved ones because we think about it being young. We think that vision, we think about continuing to grow in the business. I was 40 when I had that diagnosis, and that stunned me because I was in the valley, you know, in the Bay Area, Silicon. And it bothered me because it's like, what am I going to do now? That's high money compared to Social Security. And when they told me what was going to, what was Social Security, it it was like chicken feed. But my dad had me realize that you're not looking at the cash. You better be looking at the medical because for the rest of your life, it's going to cost millions of dollars to treat that lupus that you have. And we have to be aware of that. So, when you're talking about your Medicaid, Medicare, you have to realize that that medical portion of it is very important for you to navigate your life, for you to direct your life in the path that it should go. Just get up and go. I want to let you know I'm looking at traumatic grief, and this ties right on into it. Sudden and unexpected loss. Traumatic grief often stems from sudden, unexpected or violent deaths like accidents, suicides, or murders. This this lack of preparation can make it incredibly hard to process the loss. Two, difficulty processing the loss. And that's one that is hard. Traumatic grief can involve prolonged difficulties in accepting the loss and integrating it into one's life, leading to challenges on an everyday function. Now, I want to put some examples in here, and Dolores, you could help me. Um, when you have that loss, you cannot. You can't go on that. Like my dad's room when he passed away 11 years ago. I shut that door and dared anyone to go in there for at least 2 months. My son had to go in there and say, "Mama, this has to stop." And I kept saying, "No, Daddy's in there. Daddy's in there. No, leave him alone. He's resting." You see where my mind went? That mental capacity. He's in there. Leave him alone. And they literally had to hold me back and open that door to get in that room, to take all his clothes and take it to, he wanted to give it to Goodwill. So that's exactly what he did. No, it was the thrift Goodwill. And it was like tearing pieces of me from every piece of clothing they dropped in the bag, because I was losing. I was losing self-control. You know what I'm saying, Dolores? I had
Yeah.
no self-control. Do you have any response to that?
Well, everybody griefs different. Some people, yeah, they rather not for anybody to go into the rooms where their loved ones was at until they're ready to let them in the room. Some people goes that way, so everybody goes to a different mental state of mind. That's a mental state of mind because when death happens, if what happens, it could lead you into a mental state of mind. Like example with me, I went through a mental state of mind because it was a shock that my father died right in front of my face, but I know that he died in peace. It was in peace. At
Mm-hmm.
least it wasn't a car accident,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it
Mm-hmm.
was right in front of my face, and we was just getting ready to take him to dialysis. And so everybody grieves different in a way that but some people they rather for you not to be near the loved one's stuff
Do
until they're
you?
ready.
Do
And
you? Oh, go
then
ahead.
there's
Go
some
ahead.
that can really take the grief because
Mm-hmm.
maybe they experience it so many times that they're strong enough. I'm not saying that nobody's weak or anything, but some people is a little bit more maybe a little bit more stronger when it comes to grief,
Mm-hmm.
and some people they just need more time down the line. Like example, one lady, I'm not gonna say the name, I will never say the person's name, but she's going through grief and her son died several years ago, and she's still going through it now today. So everybody, and well, my opinion is that when you go to a state of mind like that, it's best to go get therapy
Yes.
because that will help you out. That therapy, because the therapy is not, it's not saying that you're mental or anything like that. No, no, no. It's just to help you. It's just
Mm-hmm.
to help you to cope with your situation that you're going through, especially with grief or anything that you go through. Sickness too can put you through a loop too, and so that's the best thing. So that's my best advice to get that help because when and you know what, you're gonna find out you'll be a brand new person right after.
Don't you? What do you think of death by suicide? Because that is a complex, stigmatized, leading to feeling to guilt, shame, and confusion. It makes you feel that you did something to that child when that child goes in the bedroom and does something, takes whatever he takes and dies, or goes into someplace and in the house or out, and he dies, and the last conversation you had with them was not a good conversation. How do you deal with that aspect? It's very hard, you know, to swallow.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow because we have to discipline our kids. If we don't discipline our kids, they're gonna go whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do whatever they do, or either if we discipline them, they're gonna still go. They still gonna do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we really don't have no control. It's not our fault. It's just sad that people will point the finger at us and say
Yes,
it's your fault. No,
absolutely,
it's not our fault.
absolutely.
It's in their state of mind. So some of them could be born with a mental condition and you just didn't know. But it's not our fault as parents. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, according to the Cleveland Clinic, Elizabeth Kilber Ross described the 5 stages of grief. And some of you out there may want to take notes on this. There's a book out there called On Death and Dying. Although it's published in 1969, It's still the most well-known resource for understanding the grieving process. Let me repeat that again. Elizabeth Kilburn-Ross and their 5 stages of grief, and her book is On Death and Dying. She talks about the 5 stages, and one is denial. You may have difficulty understanding, accepting that loss is real. Anger, you may direct anger at a multitude of sources, including people you couldn't save, a loved one, God, yourself, or even no one in particular. Bargaining, you may imagine reaching an agreement so you don't have to deal with the loss. You may also regret past actions that you imagine you can't think about it because it happened and you had words with that person. Depression, you may experience the complex emotions associated with depression, including emotional detachment, and that's important. I want to go back to that. Acceptance, eventually most people embrace the reality of loss, even if the pain is still there. Now, an example, when my dad died in the room, and before y'all sell any houses, if anybody died in the house, you have to let the realtor know that. That's not being funny. That's just how it is. My dad said, go on over to Wells Fargo and pay the mortgage. Go on over there. I'll be here when you come back. Go on. Don't wait on me. I'll be here. Well, I went over there and I paid the mortgage, and on my way back, and then I went in the room and started fussing at him. I said, look what you did. Now I have to clean it up. We laughed at that all the time. Look. His eyes were wide open. He was gone. I couldn't accept that. I went ballistic in that room. And I know Dolores and my cousins Janice and Tuesday and Nady, I know they know that because they were part of the family situation. I went ballistic. I couldn't deal with it. My partner in crime had left me. I had no one else. That was the time my brother wasn't living with me at that time. So it was just me in the house by myself. And dealing with it was harsh. My doctor then referred me to a psychiatrist, which I'm still seeing. And she's helped me. They've changed over psychiatrists, 1, 2, 3, but they all have helped me with the grieving stage. Because quite frankly, everyone, you grieve every day. You have self-control with it, but you're grieving because you go back to the past, like Christmas comes up, or holidays, and you think about you when you see that kid looking through a window at a train or something, a bicycle or whatever. You think about how it was when your family came together, or families come together now, and you think about the only thing you have is to look on television and see those big families coming together for the holidays. That does something to you. Dolores, it's really crucial that people understand that depression part of it, because they can slip right back into the denial and the anger. What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. It can. Depression is really, really, it's really, really severe. It can be really severe. Everybody deals with depression in different ways. And so there's a lot of different stages of how they go through depression. Some of them, you got to be very careful when they go to isolate themselves, and they're very, very quiet, and they act like they say, "Oh, I'm fine," and then they're back they're back into their caves again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. That's how depression is. They say they're fine, but they're really not fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're going through. They're really going through it.
Because you're
And so
not the
it's really
person. You're not the person you used to be. You see
yes,
what I'm saying? You change. When that person dies, your whole personality, all of it, you change. Because a piece of you has gone. And I say that with my twin. He died over 2 years ago. Identical. And even though he wasn't living with me, he was around and I could get to him. He would call me every day. I could get to him. But now I felt a piece of me has left this earth because God needed him. God needed him. But I still grieve for that because I shouldn't have said that when he first died. I did. I said, Lord, why? I did. I said, Lord, why? I've been a faithful steward. Why? I can't understand. And the Holy Spirit came back to me and said, why are you questioning God? Now, most of you won't believe that, but my mind hit on that. Why are you questioning God for the death of your twin? It was his time to go. You'll see him again, but it was his time to go. Think about that. And I let that go after I heard that voice, because I literally heard that voice. Because I was crying, I looked up, I didn't know who was talking to me around me, because that was a major loss of that twin. And when you lose twins, that's a part of you that's gone. I've run into a lot of them, and they still are grieving to certain levels. But I'm in control. I can get in control. But I tell you one thing: I will not look at pictures that have twins in them, movies and things like that. I will actually flip the channel because I don't want to see it. What do you think about that, Dolores? I flip the channel because I don't want to see them.
Yeah, like we say that everybody goes through a different state of mind when it comes to grief. Everybody, some people can handle it really well, and some people it's just they can't handle it. Because they still have that feelings,
Mm-hmm.
And some
Mm-hmm.
people and some people are that way. Like example, a family member. I won't mention their name, but a family member kind of mentioned about dying, about their brother dying, and they could not handle it. If you speak about it, they will close their ear. The person will totally say, "Don't, please don't say anymore." And so, and that's how it happens. It
Mm-hmm.
happens like that, and so
Well,
that's how,
what coping with what you've lost. That's a major talk on that. Loss of physical health and your self-image as a healthy person, loss of cognitive ability due to illness, injury, and medications. You don't even want to get out of bed. You don't even want to change your nightgown. You don't even want to take a bath. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm just saying, giving you examples. That's how it happens. Loss of physical freedom and independence. You don't want to go out that front door because you don't want people talking to you. Um, it's like everybody that passed by you, you think you see. You think you saw. Well, I saw him. I saw my brother. And turned around, it was someone else, but he looked familiar. Loss of the future, loss of future and your image. Has your image been tainted? Are people talking about you? What can you do to solve this? Dolores, you have a connection with this?
yeah, yeah, so things like that that happens. Like I said, that people grief. Everybody griefs different, and everybody has different state of mind when it comes to happening with grief.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
the best way too, another thing that's good too that really helps too, that I remember somebody had mentioned it years ago, that to jot down your thoughts in a journal,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and
Journaling is one of them.
that will help you to as well to open up, and that'll help you to realize what's happening, and it'll help you to move forward.
Yeah, it'll give you that giddiness in life because in this resource it says, and I definitely agree with this, taking steps, and that's the Healing Works Foundation, taking steps to heal the pain. Create an optional healing environment. Practice meditation and prayer, both of which help heal mind, body, and spirit. Practice self-care. It says the Samuel Foundation conducted a 2019 survey of patients and physicians with eye-opening results, and those results were eye-opening. They talked about how self-care was 71%, It was 71% when they first started. It went up to 94%. And it goes on and on and on. And I just think about, you got to help yourself. You got to help yourself. You got to know that it's going to be okay. Because it's very difficult to say that, but we say it. We say it. And that's just what we do. Understanding it's important, knowing that others are around to help us, being a self-care person that can take care of it. But it takes time, ladies and gentlemen. It takes time. It takes time to do all that. Dolores, don't you agree?
Exactly. It does take time.
So with
It
all,
does take time.
yeah. So it talked about other things too, fostering a partnership with your physician. I fostered one with my physician that left, both of them, and they knew what was going on. They knew, and one of them set me down and said, "Look, you got Lupus of Nevada. You're starting a podcast soon. You're writing books, and we can't have this now." She did. I won't mention her name. She did. She said, "Just sit down. We won't have this now. We are not going to lose a bright mind that can help others, and it has been helping thousands, and we have to stop this. We gotta." She said, "We have to plan ahead. Think about what you are doing now. Think about what you're going to do. You know, get a resource of information and cut that cord. Cut the cord and say, okay, I'm not going to deal with that heartache and pain. I've got to go on." But we're human, and we do go back to it. It's not like we don't. We do go back to it. But I catch myself. When I'm looking at pictures, looking at things the family gave me. I have to catch myself with that. So, Dolores, you have anything to say about that one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As we was gathering up all the information here, we're here. Yeah, self-care is very important because it'll help you to move forward and
Mm-hmm.
help you to feel good about yourself and saying how loved you are. So that helps you to learn to love yourself and
Uh-huh.
move forward through your course of problems that you have in life. It is always good too to have a busy lifestyle because when you have a busy lifestyle, it helps you. But
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have a busy lifestyle, you can go back down again because it happens to people. It depends
Mm-hmm.
on, I could say it just depends on the person because some people could be a lot more stronger through the course.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
but so it just depends on you, but that's the best way to do, and you will find out that you'll have a lot of more relief on you when you're staying busy, staying active, doing something that makes you feel good.
Well, there is where to find support for the people that are online. The Mighty is a group I've run into all the time online. It's an online community of people coping with chronic illness. It's called the Mighty. There's another one, My Health Terms. Groups of people living with different chronic conditions. It's called My Health Teams. TEAMS. My Health Teams. Patients like me, I've been a part of that too. Online support for people with many different conditions, including mental health help. PTSD Coach Online for veterans, families, and anyone dealing with trauma and stress from the U.S. Department of, Government Affairs, Veterans Affairs. So I stress to everyone, to get those books like How Healing Works by Dr. Wayne Jonas, explaining how mind, body, and spirit can work together in a revolutionary approach to healing yourself as a person. There's lots of books out there, that you can get. So I say to you, keep calm. And there's a Calm app, CALM app, APP. There is a Calm app that you can get that offers meditation specifically for coping with physical pain, calming, and anxiety. And there is a Bible app I'm going to say that because that offers my soul peace that it's going to be all right. That one day you will see those individuals. So those are the things that we went through. I wish people can ask questions, but they'll write in those questions. You have anything else to say, Dolores?
Yeah. So they have a lot of there's a lot of self-help apps out there that you can look up as well. That I mentioned a few. There's a lot of them too, and they even have a stress app too out there too. And the stress apps are supposed to help too as well. And those are really really good tools to have because we it's very very important that we need to be
Collect
educated about anything that we go through in life. Have that education resource on us. It's very very important.
and be collective with each other. You both, all you guys stand in that box together. You know your hurt, you know your pain. You know, show some love. Show love for those individuals. And I promise that your whole insight will change. I promise that. Dolores, you have anything to say, or you want to just wind? Our time is 2:32.
I think it's time for Ed to come through.
Yeah. Ed, Ed, yeah. Hello, Peterson.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Ed Peterson.
Oh,
Okay, we did our time.
oh, okay. Wow, that was quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys were rolling really good over there. I was just listening in on that, and you guys gave some good information out here. And yeah, and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We always post the information on YouTube and Facebook. There's these videos on the podcast that we host every week at Lupus Talks. And so, for all of everybody, please submit a comment to us in reference to each topic that you hear or look at. You can go back and look at it on the YouTube channel as well, Lupus of Nevada YouTube channel. So that way we can continue to share what's important to you and what questions you may have each and every week as we close out the month of July. Wow, this month is really going by. We'll be moving into the month of August. So there's so many things going on. And of course, how do we deal with a lot of things that's going on in the world? And when we lose a loved one or lose a significant other or a friend, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? And I know how that could be impactful to some on levels and how everybody express that. Some may hold it continually, and some may never get over, that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to just make sure that we're mindful and we're paying attention to what's necessary for them. So I'm really excited about what's happening as we continue to educate and uplift people across the country as we
Mm-hmm.
continue to build and grow each other on massive levels here. And we're helping each other in the communities that we serve. As servant leaders, that's what we're here to do, to serve and to make sure that the information that we give you is what's going to be relevant for you to handle and deal with today, and that you can implement that and add that to your daily living, whether it's in business, whether it's in finance, whether it's in anything that you do, personal, dealing with people, because we always know that you can't get away from dealing with people no matter which way you go, unless you're just going to be away from them altogether and you become mute. But that's not what we're here to do either. God gave each and every one of us a gift of time that we have to utilize for the betterment of mankind, and that we're supposed to showcase these things and uplift and help others as we help ourselves. So, with that, any last final thoughts, Dr.?
Yeah, yes, I do. I want to say to everyone on here, when life isn't a bed of roses, remember who wore the thorns. Who wore the thorns?
Yeah. Mr. Lewis?
And when the waves seems like it's wiping you out, learn to get out those waves and keep on learn to swim out those waves and keep on moving forward.
See, I like the way she said that. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, so with that being said, I really thank every and every one of you all. And also, too, oh my goodness. Okay, so Lupus in Nevada, I will tell you that Dr. Williams has been around for over 20 years with this organization as a nonprofit out of North Las Vegas. So we always talk about anniversaries and all of the different things that servant leaders do. In reference to that, Mr. Lois Olson is a servant leader as well in her right, and all of the things that she's done through the years. We just want to kind of give in a little bit of celebration to those people who are actually boots on the ground, I call it. So that way people can identify with who's really working and who's not. So we can support and uplift and give them their flowers and also support them and give them things that's necessary so they can continue the mission. And this is a mass movement, and it is a mission, but it's a mass movement. And we want to make sure that we're moving correctly and that we're moving 1 foot at a time, continuing on what God has given us. So with that, I want to thank everybody. You can check out the website at lupusofnevada.org. As Dr. Williams said, she's an author and she's a podcaster. So Mr. Lois Olson is a podcaster. So having a podcast does make a difference as we can basically create our own narratives and our own content as content creators. So that way people can understand exactly where we're coming from at any given moment. So with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in for this edition of Lupus Talks. Until then, keep the faith, ladies and gentlemen, and keep building your dream. Peace out. All right.